So today the verse from Nagarjuna goes like this: by believing that there are resultant effects, one gets rid of wrong views. And if you think about this, what would it be like if you didn't believe that there were resultant effects? That would be quite a dire consequence. It would be essentially not believing that there's any ethical dimension to our actions, like things kind of wouldn't matter if there weren't effects from the things that we do. So this is considered a very serious wrong view, to think that there's no ethical dimension to our actions. And I mean, I think you just have to kind of try that on for size and find out when that's happening in your own mind, because we do have states of mind come up where we think, like, because of the ignorance has kind of taken over the mind, or attachment, where we kind of don't think, well, I don't know, I just think of always when I was younger, if you don't get caught, it's okay. That kind of mentality. That's pretty ignorant. But, as a child, I kind of had some of that, like, for sure, with different things. But I think we have to kind of look in our present experience. And I think where that comes up a lot is not really, maybe, how would I say it? Not really maybe understanding the significance of our small actions and our thoughts and things like that. I think sometimes we discount the power of these things. But our thoughts end up shaping our speech and our action, and then they shape our experience, and then they shape our personalities, and then these kind of crystallize into, or maybe as we get older, we distill into who we are. And so these things are quite important. Oftentimes, Venerable Children talks about one of the biggest things that the inmates come to recognize, and that some of them haven't recognized before, is that there are results of the things that they do. There's consequences. Just like, I know when sometimes when you're raising a teenager, they kind of talk sometimes about helping people to learn that what are the consequences of what I'm going to do right now. And actually some of the inmates really didn't have that connection with that their actions really mattered so much, or even had an impact on other people. And so that's a huge change. And that is where you're seeing resultant effects, and then your wrong views are just being dissipated by that. And it helps people to turn their lives around. I'm thinking of another person I know quite well who thinks that things happen kind of randomly. Their assessment in life was, to trying to figure out, well, how do things work? And they just kind of decided, well, seems pretty random to me. And so, and I'm looking at how their life has gone, and it's been a bit chaotic. And maybe there's a relationship there between thinking that things are just random, and it doesn't, not being able to see their own impact and maybe even their own responsibility. And for myself, when I think about this verse, it helps me to actually think about compassion. I think it helps me to see that the way I interact with other people is quite important, and in a positive way, in that the sense of I can do something. I think it brings more power to my own inner world in terms of interacting with others. But I would, really recommend on this verse in particular is to try to find where it resonates with you in your experience. What's nice about having these verses and spending time with them is just to see when they come up and when they help to explain things during the course of the day. And so if this one is related primarily to ignorance or maybe attachment, maybe the time to think about this sometime is when you're finding yourself kind of confused, or if you're really attached to something, maybe think about this verse a little bit and just see if there's some way that it might inform your experience, so to help you to change. So that's just some recommendations. Thanks.